Welcome to Learning to Glow, a show about wellness, skin health, and self-development. I'm your host, Jess. I'm a mom, entrepreneur, and skincare expert. I'm so excited to share tips on how to achieve healthy skin and bring amazing guests in the field of health, fitness, aging gracefully, and personal growth. Let's explore all different ways we can take care of ourselves as women, both inside and out, to truly shine. So let's get glowing. Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for being here with me today. We have a Skin 911 Holiday Edition episode for you. I wanted to share an episode where we can help repair the skin after the holidays, and what has helped not only just my skin, but my client's skin. I have 3 tips for you with specific examples of how to stay glowing and hydrated this holiday and winter season. And I am also doing a giveaway in January as a thank you and also to celebrate my almost 3 years of the Learning to Glow podcast. So if you have not already, you can go to Apple Podcasts and subscribe to the show. And you can follow me at Simply Jess Skincare on either TikTok or Instagram. And the giveaway will be live in January, and I'll give more details here and also online. As far as how to join, it's going to be super, super easy, and it's going to be a glass skin kit, which is one of my top sellers since it came out. It's such a good one for, literally everything we're talking about in this episode, but just getting that glowing skin and protection and repair. So I hope everyone stays safe and enjoys the last few weeks of 2025. Here is the episode, and I will see you on the next one. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here with me today. If you are a person who celebrates Christmas, Merry Christmas Eve. This episode is going live on Christmas Eve, and I'm so excited because we are doing some fun things this holiday. And we usually spend time in the desert, and that is what made me think of what I wanted to talk about today on this episode, because when I go to the desert, I'm already dry. I have very dry skin, and I think one of the things about learning how to deal with my dry skin and have it look glowy, which is, something that you have to work at when you have as dry of skin as me, I've got it down and I figured it out. However, when I go to the desert, it's like, wow, I really have to make sure I'm doing the right things, because I make a joke, like once I cross over to Arizona where I'm going, I cross state lines, like my hands just literally start to bleed. It's just so dry there. And that's great for my hair, but for my skin, it really, really makes it even worse. So this episode is about how we can protect our skin during this time of year, not just because it's colder and winter, but also through the holidays. And if you're listening to this and it's after the holidays, maybe you need to work on cleaning up your skin because it's been left a mess. I have so many clients who tell me that they have issues with their skin this time of year, and there's a reason why. So I want to start by talking about a few things that we can do to make sure that we prevent our skin becoming a mess. This is like a Skin 911 episode. And also things that we can do to help repair it if it's been a little damaged, which is common and not the end of the world. There's things that we can do. And also, I am actually coming up almost to 3 years of Learning to Glow podcast. In January, we will have our 3rd year of recording podcasts, doing interviews, releasing every single week, every Wednesday. And I want to do a giveaway because I just so appreciate my listeners who have been here since the beginning, my listeners who have recently found me. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And all you have to do for this giveaway is make sure that you're subscribed to my podcast on Apple Podcasts. Make sure that you go and follow me on Instagram or TikTok. And I will leave in the show notes exactly what you have to do to enter the giveaway. But I have a new skincare kit that I came up with during the holidays, and everybody's loving it. It's my glass skin kit, and it's just meant to give you that look of dewy, glowy skin that everybody's looking for, that's so in right now, and get that look accomplished with a 3-step kit. It's very simple, very effective. Actually, what I'm going to be telling you today in this episode, we are trying to achieve like that glass skin look, even though we're going through holiday parties and drier weather and all of that. So I will, if you go to the show notes, there'll be information on how you can win one of these glass skin kits. It is, I believe, I'll have to look. I believe it's like $136 value, and it'll be yours for free if you win the giveaway. So this is only eligible for those of my listeners in the United States. Okay, so let's get to the topic. A lot of us have, by this point, been to the holiday parties, a lot of the holiday parties in December, and we have now Christmas coming, New Year's coming, and there's a lot of parties. There's a lot of different things that we're doing that isn't helpful for the skin, and maybe some things that we're not doing that would be helpful for the skin. And so your skin might freak out. And I've talked to so many people, so many of my clients and just friends who are like, every year around this time, my skin acts up. And it's real. It's not an imagined thing. People tend to break out more. Of course, like we talked about a little bit, the dryness is worse. The skin, like one of the things that I really see, and especially when I was doing skin, I saw so much dullness. Like the skin just looks dull, and that is not a great look. Some people have sensitivity or redness in their skin, and that gets flared. A lot of sensitivity in the skin. This is a time of year where that gets a lot worse. This isn't just all of a sudden your skin is acting up for no reason. There's usually reasons why. And one of the biggest ones is stress. So our skin will be inflamed or will have reactions, especially if you're a sensitive skin, with stress. If you're in a drier climate or as the weather changes and we become drier, especially for people who live in a more extreme type of climate, you can feel that so much and see it in your skin. If you are traveling, you are going to see a difference in your skin, and not the good kind. I get on a plane and it just sucks the moisture out of my skin. So if you're traveling through airline travel, you're going to have to do a little something extra to make your skin feel and look the way you want it to. It takes a little bit of extra effort. And a lot of other things that we experience would be things internally. So maybe you're drinking more alcohol. Alcohol is very dehydrating for the skin. A lot of people, I know people who actually will drink and have a rash. They'll get redness in their cheeks. They'll literally break out in rashes. And that's just from the alcohol and your body trying to process it, especially if you're overdoing it, if you're over drinking. And sometimes people are because it's holidays and we have all these parties and you're letting loose or whatever. So alcohol is a huge trigger when it comes to the skin health. A lot of times because going back to the weather, our skin barrier is compromised. And that is something that we have to really consider. If you're in an office or you're in a building or you're in your home and you're running the heater nonstop, that can negatively impact your skin. I don't know if anybody's ever noticed that, but if you're constantly in areas where the heat is just blasting nonstop, that can make a negative impact on your skin. Just even being exposed to the cold air can be triggering for your skin as well. I mentioned sugar a little bit. What happens with sugar is that it can affect our collagen. What can happen when the sugar affects our collagen, the result can be a textural result. So like that dullness that we talked about, roughness, dryness, that can be a direct result of too much sugar. And of course, we know back to the alcohol, not only can it cause rashes and like flare ups and dehydration, but it can also disrupt our sleep. It will disrupt your sleep. It's not a if, it does. That's just what alcohol does. So the skin will suffer in that regard just because the sleep that you're getting, the quality of sleep where our skin is repairing and our body is repairing at night, that is going to be interrupted. And also just our routine is off. There's so much less sleep. during this time of year. We're doing all the things we normally do, but on top of that, we're worried about Christmas presents. If you celebrate Christmas or whatever type of holiday you celebrate, there's planning for dinners and family gatherings and hosting. And then all of a sudden you're like, okay, well, I have limited time this week. And then my son has a 5-hour play in the middle of the day that I need to make it to. So there's just so much routine disruption this time of year, and there's less time and more activities. So it just feels overwhelming and it feels stressful. And then that leads to a negative effect on the skin. Sometimes you're so busy that you're not even doing the normal things that you would do to take care of yourself. Maybe you're skipping your skincare routine or you're eating on the go and not great things because you just don't have the time. You're just stressed for time. So, the first step in making sure that we don't get to the point where we have a skin 911 is we need to think about our skin barrier. And the skin is the largest organ, of course. Everybody knows that by now in our body. It is our protector. The skin protects our body, but also we need to protect our skin's barrier and the surface of our skin. And there's a few different ways that we can do that. We want to think of it like we're keeping the moisture in and we want to keep everything else out. Things that are irritants. When we compromise our barrier, that's when we get into trouble with the appearance of it. And that's something that we need to keep in mind. I just had a really great episode. If you haven't listened to it, Dr. Trevor Cates, who is a naturopathic doctor, and she talks about the skin and the skin barrier and why it's really important, especially this time of year, especially when it's colder and the heater is always on and things like that. And there's a couple things that I want to add to that conversation in this episode today. One of the biggest mistakes, I can talk about that too. I'll talk about the mistakes that I see and what to do instead. But one of the biggest mistakes I see and hear people doing is not washing their face at the end of the day. This is like, for me, it's a very simple step because it's a habit. It's something that it's just no matter what. I don't care if I get home at 3 a.m., I wash my face. It's so important to remove everything that's been left on your skin, the day, the makeup, the debris, the dirt, the grossness, and that you take care of your skin before you go to sleep. The biggest reason why I focus on the PM routine, especially with a lot of my clients, my whole product line and my philosophy is about simplicity. That's why it's in the name of my brand. And it is so important to keep things simple, especially when you are not used to taking care of your skin on a daily basis and being really adamant about taking care of your skin. And when people are getting into a new routine from doing 0 to a new regimen, I don't focus on the AM skincare as much because you want to treat and nourish your skin at night while the skin is repairing, because then you're feeding it all the nourishing ingredients it needs to help it repair and to get nourished and to not be irritated and all of those things. So that's step 1. But step 2 is when you sleep with all of those things on your skin, it's really bad for premature aging. So it's going to be irritating to your skin and it could cause some redness. It can actually cause more fine lines and wrinkles, believe it or not. If you do one thing from this episode, if you're not washing your face before you go to sleep, that is going to be a huge game changer on the quality of your skin, period. That's number 1. Then we can start to treat the skin barrier and repair it if we need to. But one of the things that I love to do is infuse hydration and hydrating ingredients at night. When I talk about repairing the skin barrier because it's been exposed to the heat and the cold and all of the other things that we have talked about, the really great thing is to then put something like a hyaluronic acid, which is going to help lock in moisture and protect that barrier. It's so good for that. So I love using hyaluronic acid. And then I love using oils to seal that in, because if you have a hyaluronic acid, you want something to seal it in so that it doesn't get evaporated. So using a lot of hydrating products at night, sleeping in something that's going to help with that cellular turnover and repair, especially if you're having any of those irritations or redness or rashes or anything like that, that is going to make a huge difference. Now, something to avoid is over exfoliating, because a lot of times we'll kind of see, oh no, like I see my skin is going downhill. I just need to exfoliate all the dead skin off. And people tend to overdo that. They overdo, typically, a lot of the clients and people I've spoken to over the years, people tend to overdo the harsher things because they think it's going to be a better result faster, and they underdo the basic foundations that is going to really make your skin be great no matter what. Even if you have one night where you fall asleep with your makeup on, if you are consistent with nourishing your skin, making sure that you're putting the right products on, especially at night, and you don't need to go to that point of over exfoliation. That can just be more irritating, especially this time of year. So I would definitely avoid over exfoliating. And then another thing that I love to tell people, because we talk, as an esthetician, I talk about the skin on our face, but the skin on our body can really be affected in a negative way during this time of year. And there's a little tip that I have. If you are going to use moisturizer and body lotion, as soon as you get out of the shower, I always recommend that people apply all of their body lotions right away while the skin might be a little bit damp still, because just like the skin on our face, it will absorb better. It'll lock in the moisture better, and it won't have like a barrier. The barrier will be less to absorb, and then you're going to be hydrated longer. Your body's going to feel moisturized longer. I think when we get busy, it's easy to just skip the body lotion or the hand lotion, and we are washing our hands all day long, and the weather is so dry. I mean, I'm literally, there's a few areas where I was like cracking last week. It's very important that we remember that. I even keep a little hand lotion in my car, and I kind of reuse it throughout the day, reapply it, because I don't want to feel that or look like that. Like when you have really dry hands, it's not cute and it's just uncomfortable. I actually found a really great hand lotion. It's brand new to me and I'm loving it. It's one of those products where if you put it on and you wash your hands, it doesn't feel like it's just washing off the minute you put it on. I'll link that in the show notes because it is really great and it works amazing. I was looking for something that was really great because I wash my hands so much, and this is called Gloves in a Bottle, and it's not greasy at all. It absorbs really well, but I mean, I've even heard that they use it a lot for people in the hospitals and nurses and doctors and things because they're just constantly washing their hands. So check that out if you have really, really dry hands and you want some protection. It works really well. Okay, so the second step is not going to be a surprise if you listen to my podcast. It's nourishing your body from the inside. What are we putting in our mouths more than normal this time of year? What are we not getting enough of? So those are going to have an impact on the skin. We talked about this a lot in the past because it's absolutely true. If I'm not drinking my water, I can tell. Like my skin can tell. I notice a difference for sure. I really recommend that you keep your water with you, get a cute water bottle, and try to drink whatever your goal is. Like everybody has different goals of what kind of hydration they want throughout the day. Look into electrolytes. I've tried a lot of different electrolytes. Sometimes I just put some sea salt in my water, and that works great with some lemon, like, or not. Sometimes I just do salt. Really getting in your water, especially if you're maybe drinking more caffeine. Caffeine is super dehydrating. I know I lean on caffeine. That's my vice. If I'm going through a time where I'm really busy, I lean on caffeine. So I have to remember to also increase my water because I don't want to be completely dehydrated because of that. I also really love collagen. So if you're going to be using some supplements to help with your skin, a collagen supplement is really great. I love the one that I use. It's also really great for your vision. It helps protect against blue light exposure. So I'll link that in the show notes as well. Anything I talk about that I like, I'll link it in the show notes this episode. But I try to do one collagen supplement every single day. And my hydration, my water, And then I feel like when I do a greens powder consistently, I have glowy skin. Like it is crazy. I do eat my vegetables, but there's something about getting that extra concentration of minerals and greens and superfoods that I can't get those in my diet every single day. It's not possible for me. Maybe one day it will be, but I can't get all the things that I want every single day. So that's why I love a greens powder. And I can see a difference in my skin when I do it. I'm also using one right now that I like the flavor of. It's called Live It Up. And the one I get is a berry flavor. Love the taste of it. And it's just another way for me to get my water in too, because I know I've talked about this before on the podcast, but I really love putting things in my water. It just makes it so much more fun for me to drink something that has a little bit of flavor and it's not just plain water, but I'm also getting so many benefits from. So I drink my collagen and my skin looks better. I drink my greens. It makes me talk about energy, like without any caffeine. It just gives me a boost of energy. And it's probably because of all the B vitamins, but I'm loving the Live It Up. So I'll let you guys know where you can get that as well. That is such a good one. And protein, make sure you're getting your protein. A little tip that I started to do before a holiday party where I'm like, I don't really know what the food situation is going to be. And of course, you guys know if you listen to this podcast, I am on a health journey, I'm on a wellness journey. I want to make sure I get my protein in. And there are times where I've gone to parties where I'm like, okay, I don't know what the food situation is. So I just have a protein shake before I go. And then I'm like, at worst comes to worst, I just had 30 grams of protein and whatever I eat at the party is great. But I don't have to worry about getting all that protein at somebody's house that I don't know what is going to be served. And also, I'm not like walking and starving and just stuffing my face with a bunch of unnecessary treats before, because I have had some little something in my stomach, so I don't go anywhere like super starving. I feel like that really helps balance my blood sugar too, because sometimes you just don't know when the food's going to be there. I eat early. If the dinner's late, it's just better to have a little something in my stomach, especially protein. So those are my tips for sort of nourishing our bodies from the inside. And, I think, and one note about sugar is I don't think we need to avoid anything during the holidays. I think we can just balance it. And yes, sugar can affect the skin in a negative way, but enjoy yourself too. This is just about ways we can make sure that we optimize our skin, or if our skin does need a little 911, things we can do to help it. But if you're going to have sugar, if you're going to have dessert, I say enjoy it. And just remember, this is the time of year that we can indulge a little bit, but we can also balance it with doing some of those other things I mentioned before or after. So, number 3 is sleep. Not only sleep support, but like our nervous system and how we are dealing with the stress of this time of year, which is it's inevitable. I mean, there's things that we can do. I feel like my holidays, like even though I'm a little bit busier this year than I was last year, I feel a little bit less stressed. And I think that we can just say is a mindset thing for me. It's how can I manage my life and cut out things that aren't absolutely necessary. I don't need to fit everything in. I don't need to do every single tradition that I've ever done from the beginning of time every single year. I know next year is going to look different. 5 years from now is going to look different. It's just about how do I maintain my healthy mind and like minimize my stress through the thoughts that I'm thinking, the way that I'm handling things. It's like the tip that I had for Thanksgiving. I decided not to make everything from scratch this year and order out. And it was like, I haven't updated you guys about that, but it was amazing. It was so delicious. Everybody loved it. Everybody raved about how good the food was. And it was so easy. It was like, wow, I can do what I want to do. I don't have to do what I feel like I have to do. We still had an amazing dinner. So this year I'm making choices like that and cutting out the fluff. I'm making sure that we do the things that are really important to me this time of year. And I'm also letting go of things that might not be serving me this year. That doesn't mean it's not going to serve me next year or in 5 years. Like I said, things change, but it's okay. And like I'm okay with it. And that is what is helping my stress. So, but back to sleep, skin is repairing itself at night. Our skin, our organs, the everything is repairing at night. And getting sleep, quality sleep, is going to improve the look of our skin. I've definitely woken up after a bad night of sleep and I'm like, woo, like I can tell. And I can tell maybe more than some people because I know what to look for when it comes to skin. I'm just like really sensitive to it. Also, it's my skin, but I can tell. And I think that especially, I got a new Garmin watch this year. And for the first time, I'm tracking my sleep. And wow, it's interesting. If anyone has a tracker or an Aura ring I actually bought a fake Aura ring, like a knockoff. And it was so inaccurate. Every morning I was waking up and it was like, you have a 95 sleep score. And I was so proud of myself. And then I got an accurate sleep measure, the Garmin, and no, it is not that high nightly. But it is interesting to see, what did I do today that made my sleep score so low? What did I do today that like really ensured that I had a good sleep score? I can tell you that high stress during the day will affect my sleep score. I'll be like, wow, I had all this REM, I slept plenty of hours, and then why did I get knocked down to, 75? And it was because my stress score was high, which there's a few different reasons why the stress score can be affected with our sleep. But this is, I think, the most important one of this list on this Skin 911 episode is our sleep, and like making sure it's okay. Like, obviously, if we don't have every night be perfect, but the more we can value and prioritize that quality sleep, not just the sleep, but the quality of our sleep, the better our skin is going to look, like 1,000%. And so if you haven't listened to my bedtime, nighttime routine episode, I recommend you listening to that. I'll put that in the show notes so you can go back and listen. But when I do my nighttime routine, I swear to you, my sleep score is the highest. And I don't do it every night, but I'm trying to get back to where I do it most nights because it is so great for my sleep. And some of the things on there that I think are contributing to it is just my stress. It's like a de-stress routine. It's getting all of my thoughts down with a journal, and like I'm breathing, I'm listening to something nice and relaxing. There's just like maybe a book that is helping me in some type of way that is relaxing to me. I'm not on my phone, which being on your phone before bed isn't great. It will affect your sleep quality a lot of times. And one thing that I do, even if I'm not doing my whole routine every single night, magnesium. So if you're not doing magnesium and you're having trouble sleeping, I would really recommend looking into that. The magnesium is just something I do every night now. It's on my nightstand. I have been consistent with it for a while and it's made a huge difference. And I know that most people are deficient in magnesium. So if that's something that you feel like you could benefit from, definitely look into a good supplement. When you're putting yourself to bed and you're thinking about your sleep, there's a couple other things that you can think about. I know a lot of people don't sleep with their hair back. That's something that I do because I would never want my hair to touch my face because that's something that could affect it negatively. So if you have your hair down and it's all over your face or your pillow, might want to look about putting your hair back. As far as the quality of your skin, making sure that you wash your face and that your pillowcases are clean. If you're breaking out because you don't have clean sanitary pillows, that's interesting, right? Take a look at that. And just making sure that you have your nice skincare routine on and it feels yummy and you feel hydrated and all of that. Like all of that will help your skin. So those simple practices will not only help you with your sleep because you're prepping your body and your mind, but it will help you with your skin. Those are my 3 tips for getting your skin through this time of year, through the holiday parties, through the winter. There are definitely things that we can do to help minimize a negative result with our skin, and also enjoy the holidays. Enjoy the holidays. If you are going to be indulging a little bit more, that's fine. Don't beat yourself up about it. But if you do notice that your skin is taking a beating because of the indulging or the stress or the lack of sleep, implement some of these things. It makes a huge difference. Realize this time of year is meant to be as joyful as possible. I know it isn't for everyone, but the more we can get a hold of our brains and make sure that we are doing our best to not stress about all the little things, all of that will add up. So I hope that everyone is still able to enjoy. And even though it's a stressful time of year for so many, I hope that there is joy. I hope that everyone listening has an amazing holiday and gets to do all of the things that they want to do in a joyful way as much as possible, as less stress as possible. I'm wishing all of you having the best sleep as possible. And thank you so much. Thank you for being here and listening. And we will have another episode for you on New Year's Eve. Make sure that you are signed up for my newsletter. If you haven't already, it's at simplyjessskincare.com. I send out weekly emails about the episodes that come live and a link so that it makes it easy for you. Make sure that you're subscribed to Apple Podcasts because I am doing the giveaway in January for the Glass Skin Kit. It's going to be really easy to enter. And I thank you guys for being here. I cannot wait to see you on the next one. Thank you for listening to this week's episode. Please subscribe and review so we can reach more people who want to learn to glow alongside us. See you next time.